Welcome back everyone. In today's video, we will understand the basics of rendering and animation in Blender along with the practical demonstration. So by the end of this video, you will know how to create, how to create a render and a simple animation. So first, like the do's of this particular form of, video will be relating to opening Blender and then showing the default scene. Now let's move forward with the part 1 that is relating to rendering. So here rendering is basically the process of creating a pictorial output of a 3D scene or object. So the quality of rendering depends on the features like materials, lighting, shadows, and sampling. More features make the scene more realistic, but also increase the rendering time. Let's create a simple scene. So what you need to do is, you need to delete cube. In order to delete a cube, what you need to do here is, you need to press X from your keyboard, okay, and then it will delete your cube. So first select it and then press capital X from keyboard, it will delete the cube. Now in order to add a sphere, you can do two things. One is, either you can add a sphere by pressing shift A and then mesh and then add UV sphere, or you can do it from here, add mesh and then UV sphere. Likewise, same, you can add a plane either by pressing shift A and then plane, or you can add it from here. Likewise, so in order to scale the plane, what you need to do here is, you need to press S from your keyboard, capital S. I'm selecting plane and then I'm pressing capital S. So this will help in scaling your plane. Like this, scale, right? Likewise, okay, so this is just for information that I have told you. Next comes up with materials and textures. Now materials and textures, they control how an object looks. So basically materials allow us to control certain things like color, glossiness or shyness, transparency, and light emissions. Textures, on the other hand, these are images applied to objects like photos or patterns. Higher resolution texture gives sharper result but increases the file size. Now let's understand what I'm saying with the help of a practical implementation. Now let's apply a material. So what you need to do is, we need to, let's say, select here sphere. So in order to select a sphere, if you remember in the previous session, we studied about how to select this stuff, right? So make sure in order to select the sphere, you need to be in the object mode, okay? And then you can press tab, or toggle if needed. So by pressing tab, you will go to edit mode, and then again you will press tab, you will go to object mode, right? So to select any object, you should be here into the object mode. That is the one thing that you need to remember. And then here you just need to left click and it will be selected. So the selected sphere will be highlighted, so usually orange clear color, right? So we are here applying a material, so we selected a sphere. In the edit mode it will not be selected, so you have to be in the object mode for that, right? Now we will go to the materials This is our material tab here, or you can say properties, and then here you can go for new. So here new, right? So now here I will adjust the look, right? So I will change the base color here. So base color, you can go for let's say metallic, you can write it here 0.7, and roughness you can go for 0.3, likewise. Now let's add a texture. So click here onto the base color, and then here image texture. So here you need to open image texture and then open image. So for now, if we don't want to add an image, that's perfectly fine. You can just pick any base color that you wanted to add here. From here, let's say we are choosing green, so we will just pick any color that we like. So your sphere will have a clean simple color, right? Likewise, so this is about adding a material, applying a material, and um, the texture. Now comes up with the lightning part. So lights so lights add the realism through shadows and reflections. We can control light type, we can control the intensity, we can control color, and special effects like fog or volume lighting. So let's move forward with the practical part relating to that. So let's add a better lighting. So here what we will be doing, so first we need to delete the light. So in order to delete light, you need to click on light scene, here. This will be present in this scene collaboration. You just need to click here. This will be a small lamp icon, and then you can right click here and click on delete. It will be deleted, right? So this is how to delete the light. So here we are deleting the default light, and now here we will be adding a new line. So you need to press shift A again, shift and capital A, then you will get here light. Okay, and then you have to go for area light, then move above the object. Let's say here we need to increase the power like 1000 watt. So in order to move your tool, you need to select the object like a light or a sphere. This is the light object here we have, right? We need to select it, and then you have to press G, that is like capital G, that is for grabbing or moving. So this is my light, so I'm just pressing capital G and then grabbing or moving, right? So just move the mouse. So you need to move the object, and then you need to increase the power to 1000 watt. So here let's say I am I want it to be here, right? Like I want it to be here, and then I will press capital Z, Z for zebra, to lock my screen. So this is locked here. So capital G, capital Z, move up, right? So now we need to select the object. You need to press capital N. Okay, so this is capital N. Here we need to go to the item and then location. So item, we have a location here, right? So here we need to increase the Z value. Higher the Z, object goes above. So likewise, now increasing the light power, here we will be clicking here on light. So this is our light, like the area, and this is our light. and then we will go to the light properties. So just right click there and click on adjust light power. So light power, here you need to just move your mouse and it will be increased. So we will be changing the value to 1000, or we can also type it here. Okay, so we will be going here to 1000. So just need to move the mouse. Okay, likewise. So it has been set. So point light, this is good for small glowing areas, area light, that's a soft studio lighting, and sunlight outdoor daylight effect. So we have used light power effect, that's 1000 to 3000, and moving the object G plus capital Z, and enabling the material view. Now let's move forward with the cameras part. So cameras basically, cameras define, what we see in the final, render. So we can control the lens length. In addition to this, we can also go for, controlling the clipping distance, like how near or far it sees. Now let's see the camera here. So we will be adding the camera. So in order to add a camera, you need to press Shift A from keyboard and then camera, and then press 0 from keyboard. That will enable the lock camera to view. Likewise, we will adjust the position, clicking here on view, and then we will be clicking here on cameras, and then we will be setting active object as camera. Okay, so sometimes numpad 0 does not work. You need to turn on the emulate notepad, right? We can go to edit preferences, click input, and then notepad, numpad will be available, right? So how to move the camera view? So we need to position our view part where we want, right? So you need to press Control Alt and then numpad 0. Okay, camera jumps to the current view. So here we will be moving the camera manually. You can select the camera. So here we are selecting it, right? And then capital G, make sure capital G to move. Okay, so likewise, and capital R to rotate. So likewise, press and go to view tab, enable lock camera view. Now you can move the camera for view point navigation. So this is adjusting the screen. Now let's render the screen. So here what we will be going, here we will be going to render. Okay, and then properties, and then selecting the I would say cycles. So we are back to our view. So render. So how to find the render properties? So here, this is the icon render. Okay, so this is the right side of a panel. You will see a column of icons. We have a render properties. So click on this icon here, and then we will be moving forward with adjusting the render properties here, and we will be selecting cycles. So let's find cycles here. So here you can change the random properties. Now let's move forward with the animation part. Now if you want to see the render image, so you just need to click here on render and then render image. So you can see this is your rendering result. So we set the camera view, we set the point to green color, and it show you the rendered image here. So this is how it works. You can also go for rendering animations, right? You can animate it. So now let's move forward with the animations part. So here in this animation part we will learn about simple animations. So here, selecting this frame, So in order to select frame, you just need to click. So this is a framework. First you need to select this sphere. So these are the frames, right? So here if you want to go to frame 1, you will just write here 1 and it will be your first frame. Like you will be heading over to the first frame. I'll show you how. Just 1 or you can move it back. So as you can see here, it is written 1, and to confirm you need to press here. You can go for confirming. So you are into the frame. You can press capital G like this, it will be moved, and then capital I, it will go for animations. Likewise, you can go to frame number 120, press capital G, and then you can move the sphere, like move the sphere how you want it to move, and then press capital I. Now Blender will animate the movement between these two points. Let's press spacebar and check. See, so I pressed spacebar and it is moving. You can see the object moving smoothly. To export the animation, you can go to output properties, choose file format, and then press Ctrl F12. Blender will render all the frames in a video. So this is your render result, right? The space from board give you the result. So I will show you the rendering animation. So here you can go for view animation and you can see here. So this is what we created in today's class, the rendering animation, right? So in order to save this, you just need to go for this output section, find the output here, and then select like wherever you want to save it here, right? You can choose the media type, video, multi-layer image, so it will be video. You can choose for black and white or colored, right? So it will be saved at that particular location. So this is your final output for today. So today we learned rendering basics, materials and textures, lighting and camera setup, and simple animations using keyframes. If you find this helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Keep practicing and I will see you in the next tutorial.